Ah, so I've got my selfie stick a while back, mostly because I use it for a tripod, but I thought about doing a selfie stick Sunday. It'd be nice if I could do this live, and I probably need a lapel mic or something like that so you guys could actually hear me. But I thought I'd just walk to the garden. Hey, Valentine. She must have been fed because she usually hollers at me. Valentine's a goat. But I thought we'd walk to the garden. I'm gonna see if I got some beans and some cucumbers up, and just chat. I forgot I was wearing this shirt. You may know what a Rupert's drop is? Should I tell you? A Rupert's drop is you take glass and you heat it up to a liquid and it drops in water, and then the way it cools so quickly, it forms like an inward tension that becomes super hard unless you clip the tail of it, and then it just shatters into a million pieces. But it's kind of a wonder of physics, really. It's just a neat thing. So let's see. Do I have beans up yet? Not yet. I have to give them a little bit of water. That's okay. There's some decent onions. Potatoes are still doing okay. Some are blooming. I need to get the blooms off of them. It's probably certainly time to get my beets up here. A little weedy, but at this point, a few weeds ain't gonna hurt them. I might need to spray those potatoes. I have a little fungus there. Check out those cabbages. There's a Pepsi can for scale. What else? Should have some cucumbers coming up there. These are all carrots, so we'll see how they do. And I've got there's some squash with a few squash on. I need to get those tomatoes caged up. Let's see what else we got. We got some zucchinis over here. They're looking okay. Some of them got a little soft on the end. They're doing all right. Some more tomatoes. Ugh. And then these are my sweet potatoes. They're doing all right too. So it looks like we're doing okay. Corn, green beans, some cantaloupes, a few watermelons. Even though I don't like watermelon, I just grow it because some people like it. Same thing with beets. I don't like beets, but my mom likes pickled beets, so I'll make her some pickled beets. Let's walk down to the creek and see what's happening. This selfie stick might also keep the spider webs off of me. If you don't know, a good thing to do when you're walking through the woods, hold a stick out in front of you like this. If you do that, the stick will get the spider webs before the spider webs get your face. That's what my dad taught me. Actually, I remember when he showed it to me, we were getting on a four-wheeler riding over where his property is, and he stuck a stick in the grate on the front of the four-wheeler. I was like, what on earth? The stick was just sticking straight up. I was like, what are you doing? And he looked at me, as my dad often would. I don't know how to describe the look, you just had to have seen it. But he just looked at me and he said, spider webs. That's all he needed to say. No explanation, no nothing. And I don't know if he learned it from somebody else, but I thought it was just kind of ingenious. And something else about them. I think about Dad and thinking about my Uncle Thurman and my grandfather. I told this story to somebody else this week, so maybe that's why it's on my mind right now. I remember a lesson my grandfather gave me. He didn't know he was giving it to me. Those are the best lessons, right? But anyway, this was back when I think my grandmother had already passed away at this point. But anyway, it's just my grandfather, Papa, living by himself. And he needed me to do something for him one Saturday. I was over at his house during the week, and he wanted me to come do something for him that Saturday. And I just found out it's when I was working at Corning Cable. So it would have been after my grandfather passed away, or my grandmother, because she passed away right after I got out of my one semester at NC State. I was actually back at work. But anyway, I told Papa I had to work overtime that Saturday, and so I couldn't come help him. And he could hear it in my voice that I was disappointed. I was disappointed for the wrong reasons, right? I was disappointed because I had to work. I wasn't, shameful to say, I wasn't disappointed because I couldn't come help my grandfather, right? Which I was disappointed because I had to work on Saturday. And my grandfather looked at me and he said, you know, they must really like you over there. And I just looked at him. I was like, what? I had no idea what he was talking about. He said, they're not going to pay you time and a half to work overtime if they don't like you. And that little thing just completely shifted the way I thought about the worker and the company mentality, right? Like, to me, there's a briar. Ouch. To me, it was, that's that primrose, and I hate that stuff. To me, what I thought about work was, it's something that the company's making me do, right? Making me come in to work overtime. But my grandfather, who owned his own business, that's why he had a different viewpoint, I think. Plus, he just grew up in a different time, right? But his idea was that they're not going to ask you to work overtime if they don't think you do a good job. I mean, it just shifted the way I thought about things after that, as far as work goes. And plus, my dad and my uncle, they worked at the same place for so long. And you just don't see that anymore. And so maybe part of that's what's, well, Mom too, she worked with kids forever. But you just don't, you don't see that anymore. And certainly not that mentality towards your employee or your employer. Not to say that I don't think some employers have some responsibility there, right? Like, make your place a place that someone wants to work. And maybe you'll get more loyalty. Anyway, I'm at the creek. I've spent untold number of hours down here just whatever. Anyway, Selfie Sunday.